everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. This is your host, Queen Bee Heidi B. Today's featured guest is Mixmaster DJ, producer, artist, Jetboot Jack. I'm so excited to find out about his house music journey. So, are you ready? Then let's go. So, here he is. Jetboot Jack is in the house. Woo!
Hello, Heidi. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pleasure is all mine. I'm so grateful that you are able to join to this podcast that it is exploring global house music culture from various kind of aspects and having guests, influencers, music producers, DJs, artists, dancers, event organizers, anything to do with the global house music culture. So I was very excited when you said yes to this interview.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for inviting me.
Likewise. And this interview is a short snapshot kind of interview that tells our audience a little bit about your house music journey, and it's followed by a little mini mix, including some of your amazing releases. And since it is a snapshot kind of interview, I'm just gonna go straight ahead to our question number one that goes, tell us a little bit, who is Jetboot Jack?
Well, I've been DJing and producing music for quite a long time, and I decided to make quite a lot of remixes initially just for my own sets, just things that I could play myself when I was DJing. And then I reached a point where I thought, let me just see how these would do online, whether other people might be interested in them. So I started putting them out online, and they proved very popular. People seemed to like them. So I carried on making more and putting more out there.
Yes, indeed. I have to say, people have gotten really, really, really excited, and your productions, remixes, everything, have been super, super successful. So, congratulations for taking that journey and bringing that amazing music to this global house music scene.
Thank you.
So, now, why house music? What got you into the genre of house? Could you tell a little bit of origins of that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, actually, I'm very much into lots of different genres of music, and I've been into, I've been a fan of lots of different types of music from when I was very young,
Mhm.
and all sorts from, soul and funk, disco, hip hop, jungle, drum and bass, all sorts of different music. And I used to go out clubbing. I still do go out clubbing and raving to all sorts of different music. But with house music, it was the main music that I really decided to produce. I have produced other types of music in the past, and I still do occasionally produce other types. But house music really resonated with me, um, I guess primarily because of the influences it has from other genres. That you can hear, you can hear that obviously the disco origins of house in there, and you can fit in some soul, some soulful stuff, and funky house. So I really like that it does have quite a bit of diversity within the genre, and that I can bring a lot of my own personal different influences actually into a genre that once that it's been framed in that house music setting, you can then create a set, a DJ set that really has lots of different genres squeezed into it, even though it is essentially house music.
I just love the way how you put it, because I Absolutely, 100% agree with that. And the reason that house music also appeals to me is really through that versatile, mix that it already involves. And sometimes it's as an artist or as a DJ myself as well, it's really nice to play around with all different kind of influences that you can get there. And like you mentioned, disco, funk, soulful, also EDM. It makes influences there, and techno and so forth. So it is a nice cooking or melting pot. How do how do we say?
Yeah, absolutely.
For creation. So I love the way that how you expressed it, that it gives you the more freedom to express yourself and bring all of those influences that you have absorbed and what you want to express then in your own unique way. So yeah, very well, very well said. Um, all right. So is there a particular genre within that house music mixture that appeals to you most, however? Or are you leaning
Uh,
towards something particular there, maybe?
I mean, again, I would say really for me, it's the ability to switch between those different genres. And within one set, you can go, quite techno, quite hard, but then also go quite disco-y. And I think I'm most associated with disco house. That's what I think people first think of when they talk about my productions. But I DJ at a really big variety of events, and that's what I like. Is that sometimes I'll go to events and DJ, and they've specifically asked me to play maybe a more of a funky house set or more of a classic house set, or even if I'm playing at festivals, then it'll be more mixing it up with drum and bass and all sorts of
Yeah.
other things. And then also I'll play kind of longer sets in London at kind of smaller venues where I'll play all sorts of different venues, sorry, all sorts of different genres in one night. Playing hip hop and house and disco and all sorts. So yeah, I think probably in answer to your question, it is probably disco house is the kind of thing I'm most known for. But there are all sorts of different genres within that and outside of that I play as well. And I should also probably say 80s music as well, and 90s music. And even reggae, reggae influenced stuff is really important for me.
Okay, that sounds amazing, and I have to say that it sounds fun, very fun,
Yes.
and I think that it keeps the things very exciting and creative because when you are doing the DJing, I think that's one of the very important thing that you offer the audience something new and maybe something that they don't necessarily always listen. So you do that education part there when you share something you found something cool and you're able to insert it into your mix and everybody's like, oh,
Yeah,
excited
I mean,
and so on. So
you,
it's
yeah,
great.
you've really hit on something there, which is that fun. I think is so important. I
Yeah,
think it's really important at every stage. I think it's really important when you're producing music. I think it's really important when you're DJing, and it's really important for the crowd. I think people go out to enjoy themselves, and I think a lot of people take things very seriously and I think that really you can't have enough fun. I think fun is
yeah.
it should all should be that what everything kind of centers around really.
Absolutely. It's those energies and vibes that you then transmit also through your personality, your performance, and through that music that you select. So you kind of like, I would say that you are excited about that music and it excites the audience as well. So it's a beautiful communication going on there. All right. So then the next question would be that since you mentioned that you are taking influences and you like to explore different genres of music, not only how within the house, but other genres as well. So, what would you say? Uh, are the artists or DJs that have influenced you somehow the most?
So one DJ that I always, I do get asked this question quite a lot, and there's one DJ
Mhm.
that I always mention, which is Norman J,
Mm.
uh, who's really kind of sums up a lot of the things that we've been talking about already. He was the first DJ I saw who really mixed genres up, and up until that point, I had always gone out to a club night or an event that would play one specific genre. And when I saw Norman J, who at the time was playing at Notting Hill Carnival, which is a big street party, and he would play all different genres throughout the day, and again a huge element of fun in there, and that really opened my eyes to what was possible in because, as I say, I'd always been a fan of lots of different genres, but he showed me that you can actually be a DJ across all different genres. And so that was hugely important for me. And I straight away became a massive fan of him. And I was, very, very pleased and excited that I've since then I've gotten to meet him and DJ with him, and he plays some of my tracks. And so that's an amazing thing for me.
Yeah, that must be something truly amazing when somebody that you are like, considering a great influence for you, and then you get to collaborate with the same person. It's like, I can just imagine the feeling.
Yeah, it
So
was the
congratulations for that.
yeah. Yeah, for me, it's when he first played one of my tracks, it was like the equivalent of having a number one. I was just like, that's it. I'm done
Yeah.
now.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Then this question is has been, kind of like a mission impossible, and I don't know why I still tend to ask it, but I'm just kind of curious how people would narrow down few of the tracks. I've been asking top three house music tracks, but whenever I interview DJs, it's like, let's not not necessarily go there, but let's put it like this: that uh, name few of the tracks that you never get tired to hear again and again.
Wow. I think you should have sent me this one beforehand, and then I could have dug
No.
through some tracks and um wow, yeah, no, that's a really hard one to answer off the top of my head. But there are tracks that I play and have never stopped playing,
Mm,
but they tend to be remixes
all right.
of sort of classic tracks. There's a remix of Bingo Bango by Basement Jaxx, which I
Yeah.
love, because it just the way that it mixes kind of Latin elements with the house, and yeah, always, I just feel like it always goes down well on a dance floor. Um, I think often it's also about a vocal, and I think that the vocal from finally Kings of Tomorrow.
Oh,
Um, I think it just works in so many different ways, and I've remixed it myself recently, and I think that's one of the tracks that I sent over for the mini
yeah.
mix. But even aside from that, I've often played various different versions of that in my sets, um, and sometimes a vocal just it just captures something, and it's timeless, and it works in lots of different ways. And then a third track,
I'm sorry.
yeah, uh,
I have to say, meanwhile, when you are pondering, so I have to say that finally is one of those tracks for me. Actually, I don't
right,
know. It's all in it. The whole production, the vocals, the music, the lyrics there, everything is just so exquisite, and it truly works. Like you mentioned, it works in such a different kind of, it works almost everywhere. I would say there's a
Yeah,
way to make it work almost everywhere. So that was a great, great, great pick
yeah.
to
I think for my third one, I'll go with Ultra Flavor by Hella and Farley.
mm,
Again, there's lots of different remixes of it, which always work. But um, even if it's not that track specifically, what I'm thinking of is those house tracks, which we've talked about vocals, but those instrumental house tracks as well that maybe just have not actually that much to it, just like a small riff that repeats, but it's just one of those hooks that just always works. And as I say, there's a few other tracks like that out there, but sometimes you just got to break it down to that, to a beat and a bass line and a bit of synth, and it works.
yeah, yeah, it works truly. That's a timeless piece there as well. All right, then the next question, I don't know if it's gonna get any easier because now we are gonna ask a little bit about your own tracks and your own productions, and you have a lot of releases. So I will reframe the question that is there some particular production track of yours that somehow is a bit more special to you, and maybe why?
Yeah, sure. Now, this one is actually easier for
Oh,
me.
good.
Yeah, because obviously I do have a lot of productions, a lot of remixes, a lot of collaborations that I'm all, very proud of and very pleased with. But, the most special one for me is the first track that I did with Kathy Brown,
Oh,
uh, which is Bringing the Good Times Back. And I just, again, someone I've been a fan of for many years and finally got to work with and collaborate with, and
amazing.
just working with her in the studio was just such a joy. And just as a person, we just really, we really clicked, and just lovely person. And working with her it's like having a concert, a private concert. It's just,
Yeah.
everything that comes out of her mouth in the studio, whether she's on the mic or not, is just it's just worth listening to. And then the track itself is just a piece of music that I'm really proud of. And we're talking about influences. You can hear a lot of my different influences in there: disco and funk and house, and and it's also a fun track. And yeah, I just really, really love that track, and also links back to what we're talking about with DJs, that Norman J really championed that track. And he was partly one of, an inspiration behind it, because his sound system is called Good Times. And
Oh,
so I kind of had that in mind when we put the track together. And so yeah, it was one of those moments where kind of everything came together in one track. So yeah.
beautiful, beautiful story, and shout out to Katie Brown. A lot of respect and amazing, amazing track. And of course, shout out to Norman J as well. So, so beautiful, beautiful story that you shared there. So, then you have had a long career in this music business already, but what would you say so far in your music journey? What would be some of the highlight moments for you? Again, you kind of mentioned already with some of the moments that you had, but could you share
Yeah,
a little bit more? Some
sure.
moments besides the other mentioned here that are
Yeah,
so
yeah, sure.
close to you.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about DJing, something which has really definitely been a highlight and definitely kind of shaped my DJ and production journey in the last couple of years has been an event that I've become a resident DJ for, called Vivid People, which again is a kind of cross-genre event. It's 80s, 90s, and disco,
Mhm.
and we've become like a little family, really, between the DJs and the organisers. And every time we do a party, it's just a very, very special event. And we had our birthday party in last February, our second birthday, which was at Steelyard, a big venue in London, where we had 800 people, and to DJ to that crowd was just amazing. And I have to say, we're doing it again in November at the same venue, so I'm really looking forward to that again.
Oh, sounds very fun. Sounds very cool. And anybody who is around there, if you have an opportunity to join in, please do join in. I can bet it's an amazing vibes, and it's amazing music, obviously. So yeah, thanks for mentioning about that. Anything else that is maybe coming up in near future? You mentioned about that November event, but something that people might.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're in the middle of festival season at the moment. I've done a few already, but I've got a few more coming up. I'll be playing at a festival called Mucky Weekender, which is, I'm sure, is going to be a lot of fun. There's also a very big street party in Camden, and I'm going to be playing at that. Norman J will be there, and also brand new heavies, and actually the Jackson 5 are going to play there, which is going to be
Wow,
so, yeah.
amazing artists, amazing artists. I'm a huge fan of brand new heavies as well. All their music, used to sing along a lot, during those days, especially when they were like really hitting it big time in the main media. So the
Yeah.
music
Well,
was
I remember,
everywhere, and it's timeless music. It is so beautiful and timeless tracks what they have created. So yes, people again join into those parties when you
yeah,
have a chance, if you happen to be in UK. Sounds amazing.
yeah.
Now, any new releases that we can look forward?
Yeah, I've had quite a few releases out lately. There's a track called Pusher Man, which I think I might have sent you for the mix,
Hmm?
uh, which has done very well. Another track on Midnight Riot called Everybody Loves, which was at #1 on the Traxsource Disco House Essentials chart, which very pleased with. And then I've got another official remix just coming out of a track by Joy and Juno called What You Gonna Do, which is I'm very, very pleased with. And then also a collaboration with Jonathan Ulysses, who was the resident DJ at Space in Ibiza. And that one will be out soon on Hot Gorilla Records.
Wonderful. So people stay tuned for those releases. And as mentioned, some of those tracks mentioned in this interview are gonna be heard also in a mini mix that is following this interview part. So lucky you are able to hear some of those amazing tracks. Now, last question, but not the least. I tend to ask this as well from all my guests, since this is about the global house music and sharing on people's artist journeys and music journeys in general. I've been asking question about what is the the message that you want to bring to the global house music community through your music.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's something we have kind of touched on. It's fun. It's that I think people do get caught up in there's a lot of politics in the scene, and there's a lot of complaining. A lot of people are very, I understand that a lot of changes have happened in the scene, and not all of them have been positive. But I think we have to remember that it's the entertainment business, that we're all here to entertain, and that if it's not fun, then you might as well just go and get a 9 to 5 job, and
Yeah. Yeah.
because you'll probably make a lot more money as well.
Mm.
Uh, and I think that it's just really we're really providing a service for the public. That it's so important for people to go out and dance. And I think that the clubbing, raving, partying is just is a really underrated thing. I think it's really, really important in society. I think that it's good for your soul, and I think that it's what people need.
Yeah.
And I think we should all be very just pleased and grateful that we're a part of that. And uh, you know, just make sure that everyone's doing it for the right reasons, which is to make people smile.
Yeah, very beautifully stated, and I 100% agree. I think it's so important for various reasons for people's well-being, for mental, emotional well-being, for self-expressions, for community building, for uniting people. I quite often mention about the music having the power to unite people, and it truly is like that. I mean, you mentioned about going to the events also in your youth. Like I remember also going to a lot of raves, and I still remember the vibes and the feelings of unity when you participated to some great rave event, for instance. uh, I kind of were always like a feeling as a part of something more bigger. And same thing with the house music events, festivals, those events, they create that feeling of unity, and they are kind of essential in community building, in my opinion as well. So absolutely agree with you that sometimes maybe it's a bit underrated what we are doing here in an entertainment business, but let's keep doing it anyway. And let's keep bringing that light to the world, and the lightness and the fun, because we truly need it for the well-being and for the enjoyment of life.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I thank you for this interview, and for taking uh, time to sit down with me and share about your journey. I know you have a lot of things going on. You are busy in the scene and everything. So again, on behalf of myself and on behalf of the audience of this podcast, I thank you again, and I send you a lot of blessings and love straight from Helsinki, Finland. And now, if somebody of our audience wants to know more about you and want to find you in social media, where can they find you?
So the best place to hear my music is on SoundCloud. Just go to SoundCloud and search Jet Boot Jack. That'll have lots of links to my music, and then also to the Master Mix website, which is where most of my music is.
Mhm.
And then in terms of social media, Instagram is probably the best way, and just search for DJ Jet Boot Jack.
Yes. So again, I salute you, uh, Master Mix DJ, a producer, artist, and a person who just brings beautiful, fun, good vibes to the house music and the music scene in general. Thank you again, and now we will continue to that little mini mix that includes some of those beautiful tracks of yours. So again, thank you, and bye bye from Helsinki.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Most welcome. Bye bye.